Okay, getting started. Just give me a few seconds, everybody. All right. Just getting prepped, everybody. I will be right with you. Sorry, I'm running a little late. Went down to the movies today. Had a really good time with it. Went and saw Fright Night, one of my favorite vampire movies of all time. If you guys haven't seen it, it's from 1985. They actually made a really good remake too. But I saw the 1985 version. It was a really good time. I've never seen it on a big screen before, so it was a lot of fun to see it there. I am flying solo today, so it's just me, which it hasn't been that way for a very long time. When it comes to the Snobs podcast, I've had guest co-hosts throughout the summer, and I will continue to be doing that. I will have guest co-hosts for quite some time. I have some planned out. Working on it now, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun. I think you'll have a good time with it. So get situated. All right. Okay. Make sure we're live. If anybody's watching, please feel free to comment along as I'm going. Read your comments off. I'm always up for a good conversation as well. Any movies you've seen or anything lately, something new, something I should check out, I'm definitely down to always hear that. So kind of just getting started. Bear with me. Movie ran a little later than I wanted to. Let me start recording. So all right, hold on one sec. Yeah, so we got a bunch of topics to talk about tonight. Some fun stuff I want to kind of get into, some heavy stuff I want to get into. And I would love to know your opinions on everything. Absolutely. As always, just please speak up, comment. I want to hear it. And also, if you do me a kind favor, please like the video if you enjoyed it, and hit subscribe button. That helps us go a long way with monetization and things like that. We have some potential spoiler sponsors coming on. I'm very excited for that, but we'd love to get the YouTube channel up and running. We are at 96 subscribers right now, and I want to thank each and every one of them for being a subscriber. It's very much appreciated. You guys are the best. I want to get to 1,000 if we can, but let's start there and kind of build our way up. So please hit the subscribe button. That's very much appreciated. Okay. All right. And I am ready to rock and roll. And also, what I would really love is, because all of the videos still come out in podcast form, and I would love it if you could do me a favor. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, we're up there. We're on all podcast platforms. It would be very awesome if you could rate and review. That'd be great, and subscribe to the channels there. Again, it's going a long way. It really helps out with a lot of things. I'm just trying to build everything up. We're doing really good. We have a lot of very cool interviews coming up. I have one I'm very excited about that we're going to be doing on Pulling Focus. As a director of one of my favorite horror movies of all time. He's also he's the director of one of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes of all time, and arguably I would say the scariest episode, but not ready to announce that just yet. It's coming out in October. We finalized the date, so we're very excited for that right now. So stay tuned for that news. It is coming. Yeah, but we got some fun things going on. A lot of interviews coming up for this month, and we're getting geared up for October. Go check out some of the past interviews that we've had going on. Recently, Blaine Weaver, who I've interviewed on the Snobs interviews before, was our guest on Behind the Box last week. That was so much fun. We talked about his new horror movie, Getaway. We also talked indie horror movies, which is really cool. Tomorrow on Behind the Box at 7:30 p.m. live, we will have Tucky Williams. She is a filmmaker who's made some very cool fantasy stuff, and she's going to be joining us and talking cult fantasy movies. Yeah, we got some really cool things going on, and I'm excited. So make sure you're joining in. Rob Paints the Movies is getting stronger and stronger. Some fun stuff he's painting over there. He did RoboCop last week. He did a character from RoboCop last week, so that was awesome. The showcase last week was awesome. I had my partner, Brian Patrick from Pulling Focus on, and we talked about kind of the inner workings of film festivals because he runs the Skyline Indie Film Festival, which we were sponsors of, and it happened last weekend. And it was very awesome. We did Scripts Gone Wild, the Princess Bride last week. You should go check that out when it comes out. Just lots of fun stuff. And I'm really excited, and I hope you guys can check it all out. But if you're filmmakers and you kind of want to get the idea of, or even film patrons, like, film fans, things like that, like you like film festivals and stuff, Brian kind of gave a really good inside look at how it works. How to submit, what happens when you submit, things like that. So as you can see, I'm flying solo tonight. Like I said earlier, as I was getting started, I usually have a co-host with me. It's been a long time since I've done one of these without a co-host. Just kind of wanted to talk a little bit. And there's a few things I want to talk about. I love the co-hosts. I have more coming on. Rob Gosher is going to join me at the end of the month. We're going to have a really cool episode with a theme to it that is really important. I think will be good to talk about. I have one of the original co-hosts of this program is going to be joining me either at the end of the month or sometime in October. Mr. Casey Plott, he's been on recently. He started out hosting this show with me. And then things kind of got separated, nothing too major, just kind of how it worked out. And then I was doing this show solo for like 8 months. And then I started doing guest co-hosts and things like that. So I'm looking to have Gerard back on. He's always a favorite. We have a great time with him. So yeah, we are going to keep up with the guest co-hosts. We have a lot of interviews lined up, so look out for them. I did interview last week Patrick Harney, who is a filmmaker out of Michigan area. He's been in quite a few stuff, and he's got a new movie coming out called Locker 42. Go check that out. If you missed last week's episode, I had Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, on. It was a lot of fun. We had some great talk about Transformers, first of all, the storylines of Transformers, which was cool, and I never knew. So it was really interesting to learn that. And we were talking about other things like problematic things in movies and stuff like that. So she's always a lot of fun to have on the show. And I'm sure she'll be joining in again, definitely. This Friday on the showcase, I'm very excited to welcome back Brian Patrick and Stephen Arandis. My music guys, I want to sit down and talk to them and have a good time talking. I always have a good time talking with them. So we're going to be talking music, we're talking movies, the whole 9 yards. I got a chance to check out Steve's newest movie, Just Like Will, during the Skyline Indie Film Festival, and that was such a great time. Beautiful documentary. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's awesome. So I was very excited to see that and see. I think I saw like 32 short films and features this week. Our friends from Xander and Elliot Weaver, who did Cosmos, they were sponsored by us at the film festival, the Snobs. That was awesome. There were some other features there that were great. Freelance, Last Call. Gavin Michael Booth is an awesome director we talked to. If you go check out Pulling Focus, we have a lot of great interviews over there too. So, and we are going to continue that trend. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up. So like I said earlier, If you will, if you're watching, whether it be now live or later, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. If you like the video, hit like on the video too. And hit the notifications button, because we always have a live show somewhere or we have new content popping up every day. So please check it out and just let me know, if there's anything you want to see, or, I love input. I love to hear what everybody's opinions are and stuff like that. So that would be great. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, because that really helps. This really helps us get to monetizing and things like that. We have some sponsors potentially coming on board soon, and not going to say anything about that just yet, but we're working on it. And once that's all situated, we want to be able to broadcast and do all that stuff. So anyway, for the show, I'm flying solo, but I am excited. If you want to join in the conversation in the chat. Always love to have the input and talk to people and things like that. And if there's anything that you want to hear or talk about, or you have any questions, please let me know. So some things I wanted to kind of talk about getting into it. Real quick before I do, I had a very cool interview on Monday. It came out Monday with David Black. He's an Australian filmmaker, and his new movie, Toxic Alien Zombie Babes from Outer Space, is being worked on now. It's being shot now, and they're going to be editing and be out later this year. Check it out. Go like their pages. Go check out the trip on YouTube. David's a really cool guy. It was a lot of fun to talk to him. It was a fun interview, so go check that out too. Sorry, I had to say that because he was a really nice dude. So I want to get into it. First and foremost, I want to talk about Chris Evans. So Chris Evans, now, I don't really like going for all the controversial stuff or anything like that. It's just not really my speed. What I want to talk about when it comes to Chris Evans, I don't care what pictures he posted or anything like that. It was an accident. I don't think the guy should be dragged through the mud in any way. And, it's stupid to do so. I think it's just low. It's aiming low, and that's not cool. If the guy took a picture or something, who cares? We all have. We've all done crazy stuff. I haven't, because nobody would want to see anything I got anyway. I'm just being mean, but to myself. But no, my point here is I'd really like to say to the fans who jumped on and was like, we're going to flood the internet with pictures of him, like with his dog or as Captain America or whatever. So I saw some mean memes come out, but I saw a lot more fun stuff. And that was really, really fantastic. I just really enjoyed being able to see all that stuff. So I have to give it to the fans big time for kind of sticking up for Captain America. It was a really sweet thing to do. So, like, I know I posted Chris Evans, picture as a topic, and he's not so much the topic. I do want to say one thing. His response was fantastic, and I commend him on it. Like, to say, now that I have your attention, vote. You know what? He used his platform. He used it properly. The eye was on him, and he said, you know what? I'm going to use this for good. So I commend him. I like him. I like him as an actor. He's always, even before Captain America, like, he was always fun in, like, The Losers. He was fun in what was it, Not Another Teen Movie, and things like that. Like, he did one called The Perfect Score, which was really fun too back in the day. I really liked it. All his movies, Playing It Cool, things like that. So Chris Evans, we got your back. We love you. You think you're awesome. Wish you'd come back for Captain America, but can't wait to see what else you got going on. Movie-wise. No, sorry, had to do it. But thank you to the fans who really helped him out and kept him safe. That's kind of all I really want to say on that. I don't want to get too controversial with anything, because I have another one of those topics we're going to get into, but that's a little heavier, so I'm going to talk about that later. Right now, I want to talk about a movie I saw this weekend that I didn't even know existed. I didn't see the trailer until maybe a few weeks ago, and I didn't know that it was coming. And it's a sequel to a movie that I loved from, was it 2017 or 2016? I want to look it up. It's called The Babysitter. So Samara Weaving is having a really kick-ass year. Yeah, 2017 it came out, 3 years ago. So The Babysitter, when that came out, Mick G gets a lot of crap, and for a lot of his stuff, Mick G is not great at things. So, but I don't have a problem with Mick G. I have. He's just not great at everything. Like, you know, when he did the Terminator movie, he's not a Terminator director. His type, to me, his type of style, and I don't think it's bad that if you kind of try to branch out and do something new as a director, but you kind of got to know your wheelhouse a little bit when you're doing it. His style is fun movies. They're just fun movies. That's it. Like, he can do really fun, like either horror or comedy, stuff like that. And that's kind of his wheelhouse, and The Babysitter proves that. And if you haven't seen The Babysitter, go and watch it. It's fantastic. I rewatched it. I did a double feature. I watched The Babysitter and I watched Babysitter Killer Queen, which just came out last Friday. And I was going to do a Scene Snobs review on it, but I wanted to save it for this. The reason being is when I watched the movie, I originally was like, all right, something's off here. I didn't really like where the direction they're taking it. And I'm going to go a little spoilerish. So if you haven't seen it, watch it and then come back and join in the conversation. I'll always answer comments on the videos or the podcast. So please feel free. Or you can hit me up over at the Scene Snobs on my page. We're at the Scene Snob on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. So I always answer the stuff there. So join in. So for me, when they start showing it, you have the main character who comes back and he goes through this ordeal as a kid. You know, he's like this skittish, his name is Cole in the movie, and Samara Weaving plays his babysitter, but he's like a 14-year-old kid. And then he goes, and the first movie is basically about she's running a blood cult for the devil. And made up by some quirky characters. They're all really funny. It plays out really well. Like, again, I don't want to ruin it too much, but I think everybody should go see it. So long story short, the kid finds out that they're a blood cult, and they try to kill him, and it's Home Alone-esque in the way that he's taking them on one by one and killing them off. A lot of times by accident. It's fun. So by the end of the movie, he like lives up to most of his fears. Like, he's such a fearful kid in the beginning of the movie, to the point where, like I said, his parents go away. He has to have a babysitter. And then at 14, so they go on and at the end you're like, all right, this kid overcame a lot of stuff. Well, then they start the sequel off, and this is where kind of like it started falling apart. Like, they played it all off as like none of it ever happened. She covered up everything and I guess got away or whatever, because she was a demon in the movie. You know, you find out ultimately. And like nobody ever believed his story, even though like he had a friend that was involved, and he had a couple of friends that were involved, stuff like that. And and it all just kind of worked out. Like, you were happy at the end of the movie because you're like, yes, this kid became, sort of a badass by the end of it. And then in the sequel, you're just like, okay, it's 2 years later and he's still the same guy. Because nobody believed him. In fact, they think he's crazy. And like his one friend that was there, who she's like, oh, well, I didn't really see anything. And it's like, okay. You're just getting chased with a shotgun, but sure. All right. Yeah, we'll go with that route. So, but it turns out that, like, yes, she is involved in the sequel. She is like one of the main bad guys, and for some reason or another, I don't think it's ever explained. Like, all of like the quirky characters that Blood Cult come back, and there's new members of the Blood Cult, and there's it's very silly. It is definitely not as good as the original, but at the end of it, I didn't mind it as much. Is it a good movie? It's an okay movie at best. It's a fair follow-up to a really good movie. So the story kind of doesn't keep you, but the silliness, the comedic factor of it all, I think does do all right. You know, they kind of play it a little bit differently in this one, so there's still some really fun characters in it that kind of help you move along. So if you want to check it out, fine. I will say it does kind of wear on the original movie a little bit, and I was a little bummed about that. But I should definitely say check out the Babysitter Killer Queen. Um, if you're into the first one, especially because you kind of want to see where it goes, and at least there's somewhat of a fun, happy ending at this one too. So, all right. So, talking about Netflix, I talked about the good thing about Netflix this weekend that I walked away from, I guess, is one way to put it. Now I got to get into this whole debacle of what's going on with Netflix and the cancel Netflix thing. All right. There's this movie Cuties. It came out. I guess it's a French film. I have never seen it. Okay. I didn't want to see it. It's not even a movie, I think. If nobody said anything about it, I don't think I would even notice it on Netflix. There's so much stuff. Netflix is not my main go-to anyway. Mostly for TV shows that only Netflix makes. And if I can't find a movie anywhere else, and what I do is I have a Roku, so I'll go to their search menu and I'll hit whatever movie I want to watch. And if it says it's on Netflix, I will go to Netflix because I have Netflix. Other than that, I don't go there for really anything else unless it's, like I said, unless it's like a TV show that Netflix puts out. I don't surf Netflix. I don't really know, like, again, if it's not like the Babysitter Killer Queen I didn't even know that was a thing until like 3 weeks ago. And I liked the Babysitter. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm interested. So I watched the trailer. I do watch a lot of Netflix trailers that are upcoming because I want to see what they're going to be putting out. But it's mostly horror movies. I don't really check out anything else. Sometimes they're dramas, things like that. Like there's a new one with Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson I want to check out. I think the Devil Knows You're There or something like that. I want to check that out when it comes out. So, but I don't really get too far into it. So for me, Cuties was not on my radar. In fact, the first time I heard of Cuties at all, I watch a lot of video podcasts like this and stuff like that, just to, A, because they're interesting, because they're talking about things that I'm interested in. I like different opinions and stuff like that. B, because I want to learn from some of the best, and pick up on like what I'm doing. So, I'll pick up. I'll watch like successful podcasters or listen to successful podcasters, watch successful YouTubers, just to kind of see what's what and stuff like that. So, one of them is Nerdrotic. Although I don't 100% agree with his views on everything, socially, I do like him. Yeah, Gary Buchler, he's a good talker. He covers a lot of topics. Again, there's not a ton of things that we agree on, but I don't need to agree with somebody to listen to them, especially if they're easy to listen to and engaging. So I do enjoy his show, and he had put something up about the movie Cuties and the outrage that was going on about it. And this is maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before. I think it was like when the trailer was released for the movie. It might have been a month ago. There was a lot of backlash just from the trailer, which I still have yet to see. I haven't watched it. You tell me a movie Cuties, I'm not really like. It doesn't even sound interesting to me. I don't. So I did read up on it because the whole cancel Netflix thing was huge. But my whole point of this is there was a lot of outrage going on. I was like, okay, well, I do this and I want to keep up with the times and what's going on. So I looked into it, and it was, it's pretty crazy, everything that's being said and everything about the movie that's being said. I refuse to review any movie or judge any movie I haven't seen. There are many movies, like there's a movie called a Serbian film. I will never watch it. I'm not going to call it bad. I'm not going to call it good. I will never watch it. I've read up on it, and I've met the filmmakers and things like that. And I'm not trashing it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying it's something I prefer not to watch, so I never will. Um, I will say the filmmakers were nice. I talked to them years ago. I think before the movie even came out, they were kind of just like promoting it. Again, I didn't really know anything about it. I was working with the website at the time, and they were cool. And I just like talking to filmmakers, so that was fun. So neither here nor there. But the reason I do this is because years ago, when I was in film school, there was a prominent at the time movie reviewer from a website that came into our class. And we're sitting there, we're talking, and it was around the time Superman Returns comes out. Now, never been huge on movie reviewers anyway, because a lot of them don't seem to be fair. I love Leonard Maltin. He was always one that I just really enjoyed. I don't always agree with his opinion, but like I liked him, and I enjoyed his opinion. So, and there were a couple of others. So I like Kevin McCarthy too. Kevin McCarthy is a really fun interviewer from Fox, and he's a really cool movie reviewer too. And he's very optimistic and upbeat, and I like that. So there are a few out there that I really enjoy. A lot of them I'm friends with on Twitter and stuff like that, so I just get along with. Now, my point being though, is I was sitting in my film class, this movie, again, I'm not going to put out his name, I'm not going to blast anybody or anything like that, but like he came in to talk to us about being a movie reviewer, and, well known. And it was the weekend Superman Returns was coming out. So it was like the Wednesday before it was coming out. And I said to him, I was like, hey, have you seen Superman Returns? What do you think? I was like, I'm anxious to go check it out. I like the look and stuff like that. And he trashed it. Like, we were just having a conversation. Like, there's a few of us in it, in the classroom. And this is before, like, he started. And he trashed the movie. And I was like, well, you're just saying, like, it's terrible. It's this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, so what didn't you like about it? He's like, well, I haven't seen it. And I'm like, and I got mad. I got visually mad. Like, the guy was like stunned. I guess when you're 6'8" and you're as big as I am, like, people are just kind of like, okay. I wasn't going to do anything, but I was mad because I don't like that. I was like, you're trashing a movie you haven't even seen, and you don't know if it's going to be good. I don't like that. That's just terrible, and that's not professional at all. So, long story short, I always said if I do movie reviews for anybody, even if it's just talking to a friend, I'm not going to trash something I haven't seen. I will just say I don't want to see it. I'm not interested in it, but I'm not going to trash it or say that it's bad. So that's what I try to do here. That's why you may not see me do every movie that's out and get a review. I don't go to see everything, so I'm not going to review on it. I'm not going to say you should go see it or not. I may talk about the trailer and stuff like that, but I can never talk about the movie. I can only say what the trailer made me feel. With that, again, I talked about Cuties earlier, and I didn't even know it was a thing until I saw Neurotic's report on it. And he was kind of trashing, how could this be, blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't trashing the movie. He was just saying, like, the content in the movie that's coming out and being talked about. And the trailer, again, something I still haven't seen. He was talking about things like that. And I was just like, wow, it's just not something that's interests me. And then I got to think about it. I was talking to my wife about it a little bit, and I was like, I don't want to review it. I don't want to see it. It just seems really controversial, and it's just not something I'm interested in. Everything I'm reading, it's off-putting. And a coming of age tale for, young girls isn't for a 38-year-old guy anyway. Like I'm not going to get anything from it. Watching Goonies is something I can relate to. You know, it's the same with the movie 13 that came out in 2003 with Evan Rachel Wood and I cannot think of her name. Holly Hunter. Holly Hunter was in it. She was nominated for it. That was another one that was like coming of age. I know they were young and underage, and there was a lot of sex, drugs, and there was some controversy behind it, but it was like a really well done movie. I remember working in the video store at the time, and a lot of people were asking for it. Again, it was not something I never even saw it because, and again, not to put anything down. I'm not saying if I say I didn't see it, it's not because it's bad. It's just because it wasn't for me. Again, I'm not going to relate to a women's coming of age story, a young girl's coming of age story. So it doesn't interest me. Is really what it comes down to. So now with Cuties, there's some of the things that were coming out about it was like, well, I guess they're a dance troupe. And I've read up on it, and again, so they're a dance troupe that kind of goes out and they do like sexual style dancing. And I think it's from France that they're doing it, a bunch of 11-year-old girls. And I was, it doesn't really boggle my mind because, I've had nieces and cousins and friends, daughters and stuff who do that dance school stuff that, they're in like two-piece sequin tight dresses and they're dancing like humping the stage and stuff. It's really weird. Or twerking like it. I've always found that weird. I dated years ago. I dated a dance instructor, and she even said to me, she was like, "This is not dance. This is not how you do things. Like this is just what they teach." Like when moms are looking. So again, that was in my opinion. That was what I was told by. Somebody I trust because she was a dance teacher and she was more classical style and such. So she was, she always just said that's more trash than dance. Again, not my opinion. I never really took to it. So with Cuties, the reason I wanted to talk about it was it's there. Everybody's canceling Netflix, and my biggest thing is do we cancel Netflix for this? Netflix put it out. Yes. There's a filmmaker that went out. Yeah, I guess Netflix put the money forth towards it, and they are distributing it. Or if I can't even say with a surety that they put the money forth towards making it, just distributing. So I don't want to hold anybody to that. What I'm saying is they picked up this movie. It's a foreign film that is very controversial. And now everybody's saying cancel Netflix. Should we be doing that? Is this a mob mentality type of thing where people are just like jumping on a train and saying that we should cancel it because it's pedophilic and things like that? Like, again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how pedophilic it is. Again, I've read some things and it sounds bad. It really does, but I have to reserve judgment for something I haven't seen personally. I don't know that I should be boycotting Netflix for this. So I'm kind of torn. I'm like, and why would Netflix stick with it? Should I? Again, I don't even want to watch it. Like a lot of things I've read, but so I'm really torn about it. And I just kind of wanted to have that conversation. This isn't me in any way, shape, or form making any definitive statements on to condemn the movie, to condemn Netflix, or saying that anybody that's trying to condemn that is wrong, because I don't know. It's just it's a polarizing topic right now, and I wanted to kind of be a part of it. And I do see some comments, and I would love to hear, see what people have to say. Evan, what's going on, man? So good to see you, bro. Hi, I love the 2017 Babysitter Mick G. It felt like a take on Home Alone style. Didn't know he already made a sequel. Yes, he did. It just came out. Have you seen HBO Lovecraft Country yet? It's phenomenal. I have not. I cannot wait to see it though. I am waiting, and I'm gonna binge it all. I'm very excited to see it. It sounds amazing. Everybody's been telling me it's great. If you're in a really cool take on Home Alone type movie, check out a movie called Better Watch Out. It's a horror Christmas film with a really fun twist. It came out around the same time as The Babysitter. I think you really like it. Christy, hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining in. I can't wait to have you on the show, by the way. I really want to talk art with you. To be honest, Cuties doesn't appeal to me either. Not relatable to me as far as my own coming of age progressed. What I've heard about it, it's definitely not my jam. Yeah. And Evan said, heard all about this. I won't cancel the Netflix. I chose not to watch it. That's where I'm getting at. Is it, I don't want to watch it. So isn't that good enough? They have their algorithm. So if we all choose not to watch it, it's going to go away. I've heard a lot of things about the filmmakers, stuff like that, that they were just trying to send a message of over-sexualization of children. And then I start thinking, like, but did you have to use actual 11-year-old girls and have nudity in it? Did that have to be the case? Like, yeah, no. And then I go back to that movie 13 and like the smaller controversy there. I mean, the movie was nominated, so, you know, there was some prominence to it. And then I go back to that and I'm like, all right, well, Rachel Wood, I think, was like 16 at the time, but she was playing a 13-year-old. And the other girl, I think, was like 15 and she was playing a 13-year-old. And they were still underage doing these over-sexualized things. It wasn't as readily available back then when it came out. Like, you had to go rent it or wait for it to come out on TV and stuff like that. So for me, like, I never have to watch 13. I never have to watch Cuties. It will never be a thing. So is it just about taking down Cuties? So, like, I guess pedophiles won't watch it? Now that's a good question. What are we doing now? Like, is this... Then you have to separate, like, what's the art side of it? Like, somebody made this as art with a message. You know, and I do believe that in cinema, you know, it is art, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, I know filmmakers who are just want the most over-sexualized, gory things, but to them, that's beauty. And it is, and I've had conversations with them, and I don't agree with it, and it's not something I'm all about, but, like, to them, that's seeing that is very beautiful. Like I was talking about a Serbian film earlier. There are people who are saying, like, this movie is fantastic, and I'm like, yeah, I'll never watch it. Like, I've read on it and, you know, talking to the filmmakers and things like that. Like, it's not something I find it, I would find it disgusting because that's just my outlook on it. So does it have a place is what I wonder. Now, I'm not saying that child pornography in any way or anything like that has a place. It absolutely doesn't. But I don't know with the filmmaker. Is it art? I don't know. But we should be protecting children. Should children be doing this? Like, I'm so torn. But, I mean, my only stance is going to be that we should always protect the children. And I don't think that 11-year-old girl should be nude on camera in any way, shape, or form. Any underage, you know, just to specify that for anybody watching or listening, like, any underage that can't consent to it, of course, like, you know, it should not be a thing. So if that is the case, I guess I would ultimately say, like, if that's the thing, like, I mean, I don't care if the parents were like, okay, no, it's cool, we understand your message, or, yeah, you gotta, there's got to be some kind of protection there, and that it's sad that it had to turn out this way. So I know I'm kind of rambling on it. It's a weird situation. I don't think we should cancel Netflix. I'm not canceling Netflix. If I cancel Netflix because it's crappy at working, you know, most of the time it shuts off on me, like, right in the middle of something. So, or it takes too long to buffer anyway. I have no problem with any other streaming service except for Netflix. So if I ever cancel them, it's going to be because of that. Now, the movie, I guess maybe they tried and they just missed their mark. But, you know, I would like to think that the same company that would, like, fire Danny Masterson from The Ranch because of the rape accusations, especially within their own company, and other sexual assault accusations and stuff like that, would at least be smart enough to look at a movie like this and say, yeah, we really don't want on our platform something like that. Too easily available, to creeps who want to watch that stuff. Now, can you watch a movie and appreciate the artistic value of it? Yes, of course you can. I think that's possible. And I'm not judging the movie. I'm just saying there are creeps that exist in this world that are solely purposed with looking for this sort of content. And I don't think that it should ever be made readily available. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't want to trash a movie again that I haven't seen. I did want to kind of touch down on the controversy a little bit. But I did want to go on and kind of end things tonight with the Skyline Indie Film Festival happened this past weekend. And it was my first time being a part of it. Brian Patrick, who runs it, is a friend, and he's my partner in Pulling Focus, and just an all-around good dude. I had him on the show. I've had him on the show quite a few times. We do, like I said, we do Pulling Focus. There's a new episode out now, which was a lot of fun. We were very hungover for it because we did Scripts Down Wild the night before. So go check that out on SkylineIndieFilmFest.org. And it's on the podcast there. So, or you can go to thescenesnobs.com and there's a link to it. So now, this was like my first time really being a part. We were a sponsor of the film festival this year, and it was so much fun. It was virtual. I can't wait to be a part of it when we can be in person. Hopefully soon next year. That'd be great. But I want to kind of put out there, I watched a lot of movies that come out there. I had friends who had movies in there. I watched their movies. I had a great time with it. I had people I interviewed. I watched their movies. Just some really fun stuff. I've reviewed it, so go check out my Facebook page. You can review the movies. See my movie reviews and what to check out. There really wasn't a bad movie that I've seen. Out of the 58 movies, I've seen 32. And there really wasn't a bad one. And I really wanted to see the other ones that were in there, but it was like too much time. Like I didn't have a chance taken up. But I want to thank Brian and everybody else who's been working with Skyline. That was a lot of fun. And I want to talk to my filmmaking friends or friends that are thinking about making something. This is the type of film festivals you should definitely be looking at. Yeah, it's great to submit to Sundance. I would never tell you not to submit to Sundance or Tribeca or South by Southwest or Toronto, like the big ones, of course. Why not? Shoot your shot. Go for it. And if you make it, that'd be amazing. But these like local film festivals, I've worked at quite a few of them over the years, and I've been to a lot more. And I just got to tell you, go and submit. Put it out there. Get your stuff seen. Sometimes there's grants. You can always, message everybody or stuff like that. It's important to do. And then go and visit if you can. Or contact the people. They're usually doing Q&As. And now that we have like Zoom and stuff like that, I would love to talk to people. Like I would love to talk to I talk to a lot of the filmmakers over at Skyline, but I would love to talk to more and everybody. I love talking to filmmakers, artists, musicians, things like that. So have you on any one of my shows, definitely. So, but definitely submit. And please submit to Skyline next year. If you have a movie, please submit. I would love to see it show up. I'd love to see it be here in beautiful Winchester. If it's in person, if you can make it down or over or wherever you're from, that'd be great too. There's a lot of cool people to network with. And we just had a general all-around great time. So I wanted to kind of end it there. I wanted to say I had a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of great movies. Again, go check out my reviews on the Facebook page of the movies. I did break down. And I will be adding more to like my Twitter and Instagram and stuff too. So, but it was such a great time. And I just want to see more filmmakers put in and really try. And there's other film festivals around here and stuff that are going on. I'm judging for the Shenandoah Film Collaborative right now. They're drive-in short festival. So, and I've watched a lot of really great stuff, and it's exciting. It's coming from all over. So, I hope that it stretches, and my filmmaking friends jump in and they tell their filmmaking friends to do it. And all of you, if anybody's watching and you have friends who are filmmakers, make it, put it out there. It'll be fun and it'll be great to see. So that's it. That's what I have for today. I do want to remind you guys that I would love it, love it, love it if you could just hit subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed the show here on YouTube, or please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Snobs YouTube channel. If you are listening to the podcast on any platform, please rate and review us and subscribe to the channel there. We have content every day, fun stuff. We have more content coming up. We have so much stuff to announce going on. So many great interviews coming up. And just really fun things. Our 1-year anniversary is on October 6th. Anybody who's attending the Psycho Cinema Texas Chainsaw Massacre viewing show, I should say, is going to get a cool prize from the Scene Snobs for the 1-year anniversary. That show, we're going to be doing some fun stuff, and there will be some winners who win some prizes. So please join us. It's going to be a great time. We're going to try and get some guests on, things like that too. So until next time, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for rating and reviewing us. Thanks for spreading the word to your friends about the show. And if any filmmakers, again, artists, musicians, anything really, I like talking to interesting people. So just hit me up. You can message me at the Scene Snob on either Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go from there, or here on YouTube. If you want to comment or something, I'll reach out to you. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. I had a great time, and I will talk to everybody soon. All right. Oh, remember, tomorrow is Behind the Box, 7:30 p.m. We will be live. So please join in. We have a special guest, Tucky Williams. She's a filmmaker who makes some very cool stuff. Dagger Kiss is one of her top ones. So yeah, join in there. That's going to be a good time. All right. Thanks, everybody. You have a good night.